Hey, it's your girl Barbie J. Welcome to my channel. Hey everybody, it's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of Tyler Perry's other comedy drama, Zatima, Season 4, Episode 10, Through the Fire. Oh, y'all gonna make me go to my Shaka Khan. Through the fire, to the limit, to the wall. For a chance to be with you, I gladly risk it all. Through the fire, through whatever comes what may. For a chance of loving you, I'll take it all the way. Right down to the wire, even through the fire. I mean, when I heard that title, all I could do was think of Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan. Let me stop. Anyway. So the synopsis for this episode reads, Deja is on the verge of spilling Fatima's secret to Zach, and a fire at Connie's apartment causes custodial issues. Yes, it does. But wasn't the fire in last episode? I thought it was in episode 9, so I'm a little confused by this synopsis. I don't know. Anywho, so I think for this mid-season finale, I'm just going to go scene by scene and give you my 2 cents and review. So the episode starts off with a scene with Zach and Fatima in the bathroom. We have Zach being nice, asking her how she's doing. We have Fatima being cranky, telling him to leave her alone because he keeps asking her questions and he's annoying her. So she's in a mood. So that's about all I got to say about that scene because I think it was a waste of our time. Now we have Zach and Fatima leaving for work. Deja's leaning on her car and she's like, hey, neighbors. And Zach is like, Dad, don't you go to sleep? She was like, I just got off work. He said, why don't you stop drinking coffee and go inside? This ain't coffee, this that yak. She said, but anyway, I got to stay awake because I'm on the lookout, right, Fatima? Right. She's doing the lookout. And Zach is looking like, what? What's going on here? She said, oh, no, nothing. She do the, my lips are sealed, do the key and throw away the key. Oh, no, because you're not privy to it. Privy, he said. Did Fatima teach you that word? She said yes. And Zach's like, I'm surprised she used it correctly. And she's like, and Fatima's like, Zach, just go to work, just go to work. But Deja just keep going, and saying little things that Zach is like, you know what? I don't even care what y'all got going on. And he went and was getting in his car, and Fatima's looking at Deja like, you talk too much. She's doing a hand thing. You need to shut up and be quiet, and all this stuff. Oh, so that was that scene. But Deja. Deja's funny as hell, so I like her. Now we got a scene. I guess we over at the projects now, and we see Jeremiah, and he's looking for some drugs, and he sees somebody named either T-Boy or T-Bird. I don't know what he called him. One of those names he called him, and he was asking him to give him some drugs. He said, give me a little something, something. And he said, I thought you was in the hospital. He said, I was. He said, you should have stayed there. He said, they wouldn't let me stay. He said, I thought you was dying. He said, Jesus saved me. All this stuff. So anyway, Jeremiah is telling him that he getting that inheritance, $250,000 his mother left him. Boy, when you high, you say everything. When you're at it, boy, you say anything. And T-Bird's like, no, the heck you not. Stop lying. He's like, yes, I'm telling you, she left me. So he said, let me tell you something. If I'm going to get you high, you're going to have to come work for me. And he said, okay, fine, and followed him away. But to me, why would you have a junkie work for you? Because what can you have him do? You can't have him touching the drugs because he going to use them. Am I wrong about that? Somebody let me know. Anywho, now we at the law firm, and Angela comes to see Fatima, and Fatima tells her what happened the night before with Leslie and Deja, and she's like, what? And then Angela wants to know, what did Zach do? And she was like, Zach don't know, and she's letting Fatima know that she needs to tell Zach, because she's surprised Zach ain't following her around, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, Fatima's asking Angela, how was her date? Angela don't want to talk about it or whatever it is. And she said, oh no, we're going to talk about it because I want to know what happened. So when Angela is about to leave the office, she gets a little bit dizzy. And Fatima's like, "You okay, girl?" She said, "Oh, no, I'm fine. It's like I had a headache last night and I guess I'm just getting over it." She said, "Did you eat today?" "Not yet." She said, "No, you need to eat." She said, "I'll just get me some toast." She said, "Yeah, good. They got toast in the break room. Come on." And she got up. She said, "I don't need no babysitter." She said, "Well, I'm going with you today." She said, "Okay, mama, I guess you practicing." And so Fatima went with her, but then Fatima said, "I gotta go pee." So Fatima went to the bathroom and told Angela she'll meet her in the break room. So now over to Zach and Preston and Bryce. And they're in the office. And we find out that Zach dropped the ball. He never got the inspector. That was the one thing he was supposed to do because he couldn't make it to the lunch. But let's remember now, they sprang that lunch on Zach after he already had plans. It's not like he said, "Oh no, I ain't going," or something. They made an appointment without checking with him first. And I think it's unfair how Bryce was acting towards Zach. Like he said, "Why you standing there like you a black mama and then talking to me like you a white mama?" you know, and Bryce is like, "I'm disappointed in you. You dropped the ball big time. Da, 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 da. I'm not sure that you all in." And he doing all this talking and telling Zach and them the reason that he's not married is because he know this business will take him away from this, and this. I said, "Stop lying. You're not married," like Zach said, "because you're corny." And that's what it is. And if he could get married to Angela, he would. He would be with Angela all the time. So Bryce need to stop it. But we did see that Preston was agreeing with him, like at some point you're going to have to choose between family and this job. And Zach said, "You're not going to make me choose between my family and stuff." And then Preston said, not Preston, Bryce is saying how he's going to be missing soccer games and this and that with these kids. There's going to be a lot of things you miss. And he's like, "First of all, my kid ain't playing soccer." But I was like, "Zach, really?" But I was like, y'all kind of coming down on them because y'all ain't got nobody in your lives. And that's the truth. Let's be honest with it. That's what it is. And the fact that this was the first time Zach messed up, only one time, give him a break. Even though we're doing multi-million-dollar business and they need to know who's there and you didn't make it to the lunch and yeah, because y'all made a plan for a lunch when he couldn't make it. You should have found out first, was he available, but you didn't do that. Bottom line. And let's not forget, wasn't this Zach's business in the beginning? Bryce didn't have no money. He jumped in on Zach's bandwagon when Zach had that money. And then Preston came and wanted to be a part of it, covering, and he covered for the business after Bryce messed up and spent all that money or wasted all that money or did whatever he did and messed up Zach's money. So that's why I'm like, when you mess up, you can't go pointing your fingers at other people after you done made major mistakes. He lost them all their money. You know what I mean? Anywho, while they were about to go and talk to this inspector that Preston had on the phone, all of a sudden, Zach's phone ring. He said it's Fatima. And he's like, "I'll get it later." They said, "No, no, take it. You got to take it." He take that phone and it's Fatima saying, "I'm on my way to the hospital. I'm spotting." He's like, "I got to go. Fatima's in the hospital." He passed by all of them. So I was like, I know that's right. I don't care what y'all said. And like I said from the beginning, this was Zach's company. Wasn't it, y'all? Put it down in the comment section. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I forgot. So Zach gets to the hospital. He's asking the people at the front desk, what's going on with his fiancee, Fatima Wilson. And that's when Dr. Solis come over. And she's like, "You remember me?" She worked at the rehab center, supposedly. She said she works there twice a week. So Zach is letting her know, he needs to know where she is, what room, and she finds out and says she'll take him back there. Meanwhile, Angela's going to tell Zach, "Maybe it's nothing, but don't worry, you should calm down." And Zach looked at her and he was like, "Yeah, I get it now." He said, "Don't effing tell me to calm down right now." And I was like, "Thank you, Zach." Because Angela said that like once or twice. You can't be telling her to calm down. You can't be telling pregnant women to calm down. But you could tell people to calm down. You can't say it. If I can't say it, you can't say it. And Angela has said it a couple of times just to let y'all know. And so Zach gets back there and he sees Fatima and she lets him know that this scared her and he wants to know what happened. And she was like, there was a little spotting and bleeding or whatever it is. And he's like, well, what happened? Like, why did this happen? And she's like, oh, it could be stress. It could be, this or that. And trying to make it seem like it's no big thing. He's like, you're not going to tell me this just started happening like that. So then the ultrasound technician let them see the baby on the monitor, asked them did they want to know the sex. They said they're going to wait till the baby's born. She let them hear the heartbeat. They loved it. She said the heartbeat is strong and everything looked good. So she left out. And then Fatima let Zach know that she said she'll sit down. If that's what the doctor said is best for the baby, that's what she plans on doing. So Angela was a little surprised, but Zach was happy and stuff. And then Angela said, well, before you back off, maybe you should handle that Leslie Biatch first. She got you all stressed out. And boy, Fatima's eyes got so big, like, what are you doing, Angela? Why are you saying that? That's what her face read. And Zach is like, Leslie's doing what? And Fatima wasn't saying anything. And Angela said, she popping up everywhere and stressing Fatima out. And Fatima's like, I was going to tell him. She said, well, you taking too damn long. He needs to know. I said, oh, shoot. And Zach got upset because he's like, I can't believe you're doing this. You're putting our baby's life at risk. And then he asked Angela, where does she be? And she's like, Fatima. And he's like, no, you tell me. And Fatima finally said, at the house, my job, the office. And Zach was standing there shaking her head like almost losing it, And she said, and she broke into the house months ago. He's like, months ago? Really? It's like, what are y'all doing? And then Fatima said, and she came by last night. He said, oh, so that was that sound I heard out there. She said, yeah. And then Deja kicked her behind. And he said, oh, so that's why you got Deja keeping your secrets too. Really, Fatima? She said, I was just trying to figure out what steps to take. Like, should I get a restraining order or what? And he said, what's a restraining order going to do? And I was like, I'm with you, Zach. I don't know what she talking about. You a daggone trying to be an attorney and you coming up with that weak behind excuse? Come on, Fatima. And he's right. And she was looking like she wanted to cry because he's fussing at her. But he was right. I'm sorry. Fatima, you always keeping these damn secrets, and then he starts exploding, and you want to know why. She don't want him to get in trouble. He gonna get in more trouble if you don't tell him. So Angela was asking him to chill because this is not helping, and it wasn't really. Him getting upset or raising his voice, is stressing her out even more. So he said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get you a bodyguard. And Fatima was like, Zach, are you serious? He said, I'm not screaming. I'm not fighting nobody. I'm not going after nobody, but I'm also not negotiating. I said, I hear you, Zach. I hear you, bruh. And then Dr. Harris came in and she gave them an update that Fatima looked good, but they want her to visit her OB. Probably they're going to have her going there once a week or something. But if she feels any other pains or anything a little bit, that she either need to come back there or see her OB. But Zach was thinking that this wasn't normal, what was going on. And Fatima did say she was going to look into getting a doula now, whatever. But Dr. Harris said to them, remember what I told you about stress. Mind your stress, all of you. And she said, I know you're scared. He said, I'm terrified. She's scared. And Angela's like, all of us are scared. So the doctor left saying that she was going to get them discharged. And Zach kept saying something don't feel right. She said, what is it? He said, I don't feel like all of y'all are taking this seriously. And he was right. He is right. But I'm glad Angela opened up her big mouth and said something. I can say that much. But I'm very disappointed in the way that Fatima has been handling things. So now the next scene we see is Jeremiah getting high again, and he got so high that his mother came to him again. He said, Mama, there you are. And she's like, baby, what are you doing? He said, I'm trying to get to you. She's like, why? He said, you all I got. She said, that's not true. People love you. Zach loves you. Zach don't love me, Mama. I want to be with you. She said, no, this not for you, baby. You're carrying my addiction. And she said, you are better than this. Don't come here no more. And before he could respond to her again, she was gone. And he started screaming, Mama, Mama, Mama. So now we see Zach pushing Fatima to the car in a wheelchair. And Angela leaves them and said, call me if you need me. And then Bryce calls him and apologizes for the way he spoke to him earlier that day. And Zach said, nah, man, that's okay. He said, I got to do better. I got to find a balance between work and my family. He said, it's all good. And he said, okay, thank you. And he asked about Fatima to see if she was okay. And he said, yeah. And then they hung up. Fatima asks him to drop her at the job first so she could tell her boss that she won't be there, grab her files, and grab her laptop. He gets upset, saying, you said you was going to rest. The doctor said to rest. Da, da, da. She's going to rest at home. She could still do her work, Zach. Why are you getting upset and giving no problem? So he annoyed her so much, she said, you know what? Forget it. She said, just drive me to the office. I drive my own self home. Because she also left her car there, so she was going to get her car as well. He could have waited for her, you know what I mean? Or made sure he went upstairs with her to make sure she did what she was supposed to do. But instead, he got her upset the way he came
So
at her.
then,
And I understood it. So now we see Connie sorting through some clothes, I guess trying to salvage whatever she can from the fire. And then that woman from Child Protective Services comes by and she questions Connie about the what she told the police happened and asking what really happened. And because she's getting different stories between her and the kids, and so she said now they have an open investigation. She said, and she's not in the business of trying to take kids away from their parents. She don't. She said, but your caseworker is trying to set y'all up in a motel. And she said, get settled and then I'll come back to see you or something like that. But honestly, what I'm making out of all of this, I don't think Connie told her she has cancer. And I think she needs to stop being so prideful because there is no way that this system will not try to help a woman with kids while she's fighting cancer. I think this lady from Child Protective Services would even try to help her. I mean, that's my belief. Y'all put it down in the comment section what y'all think. And then the episode ends with Angela getting home and she pulls out that little gadget to give herself a shot, you know, that whatever that weight loss diet thing she's doing. And all of a sudden, she started feeling funny, like faint and stuff. And she was reaching for her cell phone because that girlfriend was going to call somebody on 911. But then she reached into the refrigerator, drank some water, and she felt a little bit better and it cleared her head. And she's like, oh, what the hell was that? And then she walked upstairs and the episode went off just like that. So y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all thought about this episode. I am so sorry that I gave it to y'all so late. And tomorrow I will give you my sister's review. It's your girl Barbie J saying I will see you all in the next video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share because sharing is caring. Peace.